Alright, we are recording. Alright, so I hope everyone had a great break and enjoyed that escapade at the beginning of session here. I have a few announcements, some promises that I've made that I'd like to update you on, and then because I've canceled session the last couple of weeks, I've thrown in some extra stuff which I'll announce as well. So the first thing is I teased a little bit a highlight video, or I teased the idea. It's almost done, actually, but I'm not finished yet. So if you have any last-minute submissions or like clip ideas you want to have included, let me know ASAP, and I'll try and work those in if they're not already. My goal is to have it within the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping for. I'm finding time on the weekends to do it, and there's a lot of video. But yeah, if you want your clip included, if it's not already, just message me and I'll be happy to put it in. So be on the lookout for that. I'll post updates as they come. As promised, I buffed the loot tables a little bit, at least for the first part of this arc. And the way I usually set up traveling is I do almost all of it, I roll off screen and do encounters that way. I find it to be a little more natural. However, being that we've been absent for so long, I will still keep the random rolls, but I've done the work behind the scenes to flesh out all these different encounters so you guys can roll them, which should be fun.
Ooh.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
I love that.
Which is fun for me and fun for you guys. So that's my gift to you and a sorry for last week. So
All good.
We'll do those loot. That's the encounter tables, and then the loot tables have been buffed. Obviously, I'm not going to share how, but I think that's all the relevant announcements that I wanted to do now. So yeah, just to recap, if you have any other clips or moments you want to have captured, let me know. With that, who would like to do the recap? A speedy recap.
I have reviewed, and I'm ready to do a speedy recap.
Actually, one last thing, sorry, before you go. I'm icing the kicker here. During the absence and the cancellations, I mentioned you guys are going to get a total of 188 gold. If you haven't added that, add it to your sheet.
188 each?
Correct.
Okay, I definitely don't think I've added that.
I did not add that.
Was that from... We did get gifted gold from Yarna the last time. Is that or something?
No,
in addition?
I rolled for it in the chat a little while ago, and then there was
okay.
An extra little bit I promised. So,
am I included on this?
Yes, you are included. You're part of the group now.
Well, I didn't know if this was like promised pre or post me joining.
Nope. This is all the cancellations that have resulted from.
Okay, so you said what? How much was it? 188.
188. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
feeling
right.
very rich now.
Oh, just you wait. Okay. That's it. Tom, take it away.
Okay. So we began the second act or arc, kind of tending our wounds after the big fight with the prince. And so Jason and Tenley's mom were the greatest injured. And long story short, we healed them, but they won't be joining us on further adventures. There is kind of a little bit more bonding that happens between Felix and Therathari. They do some of that not only after this fight, but also during the Day of Roses celebration where they play some carnival games. Okay, let's see. We also, I sort of alluded to this, get I suppose our payment from Yarna for helping uncover the mysteries at the docks, which includes some gold and also a few tickets to the Amber Mines. So that was one of the party's potential options for the travels here. The other potential options I don't have totally accounted for, I don't think, but it includes Yaris, kind of near the spires there. The Shikumo Empire, Amber Mines. I feel like there was at least one more, but I don't think I wrote it down.
That was it.
In any case, the party now consists of, and this is like about as fast as it can get because not too much happens. Consists of Therathari, Felix. Is it Jara or Yara? Your character?
Jara with a J.
Jara. Jara like a hard J.
Yep.
Iris, which is apparently spelled with a Y and some other interesting choices. And an enchanted guinea pig called Alfredo.
Let's go.
Alfredo.
And they chose to adventure to Shikumo.
Great. That is what I had. Do you guys think that was good or anything missed?
That's
No.
pretty much it.
Oh, we also got maybe this will come into play later. Noble status for our efforts in Tura, granted to us by the king.
Oh yeah, and I remember one other thing is that like the Day of Roses celebration was like sort of awkward because there was also like an execution.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that
right.
whole last execution happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tom, you may take your D6 or D4 inspiration, excuse me. No, I'll give you a D6. It's been a while.
I mean, I
Whatever
feel
you
like
want.
if you wanted the full explanation, maybe it was worthy of a D6. So D4 it is.
Fair enough. All right. So, with that, we will pick up. You guys are, I believe you just left Q's. Is that correct? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Just leaving Q's. It's early, or actually, it's at this point probably a little bit past midday. And the day is yours. So it sounded like you all decided on going south. You may have to notify the relevant people for that.
And they hadn't technically left yet, so she's still hanging around right now.
That is true.
Which that is to say, she'll probably, once everyone leaves Q, she'll go, "So, Shikumo, I suppose I should let everyone else know that you'll be indisposed and out of town."
That would be appreciated. Yeah.
Sure. I can cycle in with everyone and let everyone know, at least for a decent while. Is there anything we can do to keep in contact while you're out in a new nation? Or just missives, letters? Actually,
Well,
that's a good idea. We should ask. If we don't have anything yet.
I did come across these stones. It's just a pair of them, but supposedly you can send messages over distance.
Huh?
I don't know how far, but could be worthwhile.
Useful. I suppose if you don't have a means to keep it among yourselves, then that's certainly a method. Otherwise, we can see if Q has a second set that we could purchase or something.
Felix, would you happen to know anything about them? And I hand him the sending stones.
I
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
cast Identify as a ritual.
Yeah.
Might as well.
then what
That would
is-
take about 10 minutes of sitting down, but you certainly could do it.
Yeah. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
We could hang out. We'll walk and talk.
Okay. Well, this would definitely be a stationary, like thing. You can't really. I don't think you can walk. He probably has to draw things, you know.
Oh yeah, it's like a ritual whole ass thing. Okay, yeah.
Bring around the rosy then.
Yeah. Nevertheless, you guys. While Felix is doing this, do any of you want to make small talk with? I mean, you have Iris and Jara now.
Yeah, Jara's still grilling Iris.
Yeah, Iris is pretty well just sort of accommodating to just sort of requests for sketches and things.
So, how do you think? You got like, do you have memory?
I believe my consciousness isn't stored in the ether that surges through this physical form.
Ether. He just writes that down.
Aside from that, I have some level of memory that does not seem to want to come back to me.
So you might not be in control.
That is a high possibility.
And he writes some more stuff down. Well, hopefully as we learn more about you, we'll be able to unlock those memories and learn more about your past, which I'm assuming right now it's a little bit of a black hole. You don't know too much, right?
recognize waking up in an archaeological excavation and then meeting Q.
Interesting.
Take it in, everyone. This is the last little bit you'll see this for a while. All right. So while that conversation's going on and Jar is taking note upon note, Felix, you spend your time doing your ritual, casting Identify.
Yes.
These stones are good up to 1,000 feet. They cannot go through different planes. You have to be on the same plane, but within 1,000 feet.
These will work for short distances, but not. I don't believe. I believe where we're going would be too far to form any kind of stable connection.
So these are short-range sending stones. Do we? I can go see if Q has anything longer.
We're at Q's, right?
We just left Q's, yeah.
Oh. We can go back.
Yeah, I'm interested in this because I certainly want to hear more about the mine as you learn more about it.
Certainly. Just as well, if there's any other magical implements that you all wanted to purchase before leaving. If you're going to be heading out on the road, you likely want to be better geared.
I definitely wanted to pick up a shield at some point. But that's not. I don't need a magic shield. Well, we could see if Q has anything.
Well, I'm going to go back in.
Okay, it would also be safe to assume, given the mission you accept, there may also be some sort of aid in acquiring the necessary equipment. Just throwing that out there. It doesn't, as vague as that is.
You could likely check in with the order to see if there's anything they can requisition before heading out.
Correct.
Ah.
They need you. Anyway, you walk into Q's shop. He's in the process of cleaning up the mess that was left, figuring out the door situation that I believe Iris, you...
Yep, Iris crushed the doorknob.
Yep. He hears the jingle of the door. Yes, 1 second, please. You hear him, like, moving things around, throwing things. Comes out, deep sigh, kind of brushes off his front. Oh, you again.
Now that we're done with business, let's talk about mercantile business. I'm helping them get themselves set up on a longer expedition. Do you have more longer range sending stones?
Unfortunately, not in my inventory. They are a little bit rarer to come by. However, if there's any hope of finding it, probably the archive would know best. Within the walls at least. I could procure it. It would take me a while, especially given my trade routes have been kind of ransacked. Yeah, long-range stuff is a little bit hard to come by, and it would be expensive, even with the family friends discount.
What about, does the city have anything like an owlery?
Yes, they do. In fact, coincidentally, the archive runs it. It's how they communicate to most of their expositors.
We ought to talk to them.
You sure you don't want to help me out? I'd really appreciate it. I'd be remiss if I didn't try a last-ditch effort.
Q, you're next on the list. Believe me.
You know what they say. First is the worst.
Worst case scenario, if it gets that dire, let me know and I can see if I can drum up some family funds to hire some mercenaries.
I will. I think it's worth the trip for me as well. Maybe I'll leave for a little while. See what's going on personally. Regardless, good luck, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Right. Unless anyone has anything else, Tenley and Iris will head out of Q's.
They
Yeah,
both step at the same time. It's very strange.
Say goodbye.
It's almost as if they're connected to the same brain.
All right, if your business is concluded there, the day is yours. So it's approaching 2 p.m.
All right. I think, yeah, the archive sounds good to go to.
Is there much else you need from me, or are we good to depart from here? I'm happy to see you off at the gates if you'd like me to.
Well, yeah, we need to figure out how we're gonna eventually communicate with you, but we could figure that out at the gates if you have more business to attend to.
I think, well, actually, I think that starting to settle the Turin branch of the trading company can wait a day. It's a holiday. It's fine.
Okay. You head back into the Holy District with its gates open. Still a very strange sight for those who are newer to the city. The previous day, just the previous day, the gates were shut and the guards were aplenty. However, the Holy District, as mentioned before, is in full effect. The festival is continuing, and you guys make your way to the Order of the Archive, which is one of the only only government offices, if you will, that is open. There you see an empty archive, and
Oh, Arnold's not here.
Thank
is
God.
not there
Oh no.
either. He's not
Oh,
there.
thank God.
There is a young lady who you guys were introduced to way long ago. Does anyone remember the name? This is a way back machine.
Do I have any note on that? That's fine.
An archive.
This is like session 3.
Session 3.
This
This is major
there.
points.
Vault on the first floor. Let me see.
Major points.
I'm not
Did you
earning
have
major
any-
points.
See crash donation from the fallen brand family.
I just got to see a crash. That's it. And Arnold.
Don't know. I have. There's the High Archivist, but he's a dwarf.
Correct?
Oh.
That's okay. Her name is Leia.
Oh, yeah, I
Way-
did not write that one down.
Way long ago.
I
She
do
was-
remember that though. Now that you say it.
Yeah, it does sound familiar now that you mentioned her name, but God, I did not write that down.
Yes, so Leia's there. She's at the front. She is similarly aged to Arnold, kind of young, or excuse me, late teens. She has brown hair. She's human. And she wears the very familiar blue garb that the archivists wear with the gold brooch. And she greets you. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the archive. Is there anything I can do for you?
What business did you all need to attend to? I believe we wanted to visit the Owlery for a brief moment, and then these folks are going on an expedition under the High Scepter's guidance, so some level of requisition if there's anyone we can speak to with that.
Sure. Well, the Owlery is actually out back. There you can talk to Claire. She runs it. But if you want, believe the archivist was expecting you. You are Tenley and company, yes?
Correct.
Great. Well, she's expecting if you want to go up there first.
Of course. High Scepter first and then the Owlery.
Sounds like a plan.
You know the way?
On the way then.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So, you head up to the 3rd floor where the archivist's office is. Sia is in there. At this point, she's looking out her window, kind of at the Holy District. She hears you enter. Good afternoon. I suspect you're returning with an answer to my proposition, yes?
Tenley will gesture to Theratharu.
Yes, we are.
Wonderful. And what answer have you come back with?
I graciously accept the position of expositor on your behalf, and my party and I will investigate Shikumo.
That is wonderful. We should celebrate. Let's see. And she'll rummage through her desk, taking a step back, opening drawers. You hear and see her open some drawers, ruffle through some things. This should do. She pulls out like a very small bottle of dark liquor. It's like half full. She pops it. I don't have glasses. Mugs will suffice. She'll just pour them into like teacups.
That's right. She loves her tea.
She'll set them all out. Oh, there's some new faces.
Yeah, these are our friends Jara and Iris.
I'm just gonna nod my head forward.
You look familiar. She looks at you, Jara.
Yeah, I've been down in the library doing some light reading. You might have caught me in there a lot.
Right. Yes. Well, I assume you're with them.
Then I am.
I'll get another teacup. I she'll pour another out. And who are you?
My name is Iris.
She kind of gives a half-cocked look. Ah, automaton. Interesting. Well, you found yourself an interesting company, as usual. I suppose the more the merrier. Do you drink?
Well,
I do not have to.
Oh, just save that one. You're going to say something, Therathari?
yes, we will be losing a couple of travel companions for this this journey, but hope to be keeping in touch with them, and perhaps you could help with that.
Kenley will just sort of nod. For all intents and purposes, I'm remaining at home to assist with the Turin branch of the Hightower Trading Company. However, I will be serving as their point of contact in the city.
Wonderful. Business after the toast. She'll lift the teacups. To the archive, and she'll like tap.
Okay.
And to your safe journey, and she'll drink. Oh, strong. Ah, well, congratulations. Thank you for taking this opportunity. There are a few items of business that actually coincide with this point of contact. But first, I have something for you, Therathari. She pulls out from another one of her drawers a brooch. It's not the same brooch that you saw Leia wear, or Arnold, and it's not the same as hers. Essentially what it is it's an owl feather that's kind of like morphed into like moving in. It's like an action shot of like a feather, kind of like mid-fall.
Oh, that's sweet.
And it's
That's-
golden brooch.
That's baller.
As an expositor, you get the brooch. Uniform is not required, but should you wear it around any of the archivists, they'll show you a bit of respect. Well earned, I will add. Wear it proudly. You deserve it. And
Thank you.
she
And I
says, yep, put-
Accept it.
Great. Do you put it on?
I do.
Ah, lovely. And one last thing, and she'll take out a very old-looking book. Very, like, loose papers kind of falling out, leather-bound. She'll flip to, like, the last third of the book on a blank page. You can see there's lists of what looks like names. If you would sign this, she'll turn it to you, hand you a quill and pen.
I sign my name.
All right, you watch as you sign your name. It's kind of like if you've ever used a really shitty tablet and you write, it kind of lags the cursor behind, where it draws. That's kind of what it looks like. And the black ink flashes white for a second as your name hits the page. Right. You are now contractually bound to the archive. All right.
I look up with a face of just genuine appreciation for the novelty of the situation.
You have no idea what that contract that name signing means, however. It was definitely not a mundane signing of paper. That's what you know.
Yes,
She says-
that's what I know.
Here's your travel kit, and she'll hand you a notebook, which accompanied with another quill and an ink vial. Use that ink sparingly. It is visible only to you and those that have written their name in this book. So you have now it's a standard notebook. There's nothing magical about the paper. But you have a quill and ink vial, which is magic ink that only you can see, and other members of the archive. And then there is a cloak, should you choose to wear it. It is the blue cloak, a little bit elevated from the one that Arnold wears, and not as decorated as the one that Sue wears. But regardless, you now have a cloak. And then the last thing is a token, a very strange, it's about the size of a silver dollar, and it has the symbol of the archive, which is the quill and the book and the ink vial. Should you be in trouble, use this coin as currency to really any archive, and you'll be teleported. It's a token you can use to teleport. some of the archives, well, all of the archives, have teleportation pads, and they are withheld for emergency or personnel who have clearance. This token is issued to every expositor. Should you need it, you may be able to teleport to any of the pads linked.
Well, that is something.
Use it sparingly, I will advise. And lastly, by signing your name on this book, I know, in some sense, of your morality. I know if you die, or mortality. I know if you die, if you faint, if you're no longer part of the archive for these reasons, I'll be notified through this book.
Very well. Should hope not to disappoint.
We have to keep track of our, well, field members, just to ensure that none of the sensitive information gets out there. Should you perish, in that unfortunate case, your journal and vial will become forever invisible.
Good to know.
I think this goes without saying, but what you're embarking on is classified information and should only be transferred to the archive and other archivists, and we will decide who, when, and where this information will get distilled. I assure you, we do not keep from the public information. We just distill it slowly, so as to not cause panic. But your research and your knowledge will help form the greater network that is the archive, and you are now serving a greater purpose. Alright, that's enough of the formalities out of the way. She'll kind of wash out her... she'll just pour tea directly into her teacup that she used to take the shot. She says, as for the details of your mission, and for those who are tagging along, she looks at the rest of you, I have a connection, another expositor, in charge of... And I'll bring up the map for you guys. This is another part of the gift. She'll hand you a map.
Woo! Oh shit, we got a map.
1 sec.
I'll bet Jara loves maps.
I do. I do love maps.
It should look familiar. This is a zoomed-in map of
Ooh.
the South with added detail. As I said,
That's awesome.
I love this.
So as you guys explore, like I said, you'll get more detail. So there's more detail here than even on the other map, which I already updated.
Oh shit,
She
mine's
says-
a Mori.
Yes, there are. In the
Oh,
Black
shit.
Rock Quarry, which is down in the very south near the Guanjay Mountains, I have an expositor there who is leading an expedition and has been for about 3 years. Her name is Alejandra Verola. I'll just send this in the group chat so you guys have it. Oops. Can I not just copy this? I don't know why it's ending like that. There you go. Anyway. Alejandra has been overseeing this quarry in the Guanjay Mountains. Initially, about 3 years ago, we heard disturbances of concerning nature, let's say. Essentially, there have been reports of goblins and creatures from the Underdark that have been seen in the very caves on the surface level, very close to the surface of the Guanjay Mountains. Locals have reported these sightings, and we've been contracted by the Synod to initially discover what's going on. When Alejandra arrived, her and the other expositors quickly set up base camp and started excavating and exploring the surrounding areas. And they found a deposit of whitestone, which was previously only thought to be in Taldore, in Whitestone, the city. This discovery naturally drew the attention of not only the rest of the archive, but many individuals who wished to capitalize on the magical nature of Whitestone. Whitestone, by the way, is the predecessor to Residuum, which is
Residuum.
a very raw, strong, powerful form of magic. that's used in enhancing things and making things like arcane enchantments stronger.
Curious it's been found outside of Whitestone.
Our thoughts exactly.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That's crazy.
Now, deposits. There is known to be Whitestone passing through the hands of individuals, but deposits, entire veins of Whitestone, well, that's only been thought to have been possible in Taldore, in a very specific region. What previously was thought to be the specific conditions needed for Whitestone to grow seem to be wrong, or at least not complete. And so very quickly, Elohandra's mission changed from charting the goblins and Underdark creatures, and has morphed into an understanding of Whitestone and how things grow, or how this grows, and furthermore, what ways of harvesting we can do, and all of these sorts of things. Naturally, it's a very sensitive subject. Many people want their hands on this substance.
Of curiosity, and I do speak from a business sense in this case, wouldn't having a new, reliable source of Whitestone help curb the costs of the Whitestone monopoly in Taldore?
It would. This is a very delicate subject. You see, the safeguarding of Whitestone, not only its mining technologies, but what it can be used for and its trade, are very safeguarded, heavily safeguarded, for obvious reasons. If Whitestone could be mined by anyone, it would be a dangerous thing. And so there is a limit on sort of the circulation of Whitestone. It's monitored very closely by Taldore and the council within. And another vein of it...
Oh, they have a council.
They do.
Who's on the council?
That's
I had to make the joke. I had to make the joke, Jurgen.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But the council monitors this closely, and another supply of it has made a lot of heads turn and worry. We have members from the Taldore Order of the Archive, or one of them, from the city of Aten, who have been aiding Elohandra. But no Whitestone has left the Blackstone Quarry.
The Taldore's council is aware of this
They are.
burgeoning new potential.
Yeah. Who else knows about this?
Great question. Apart official channels, I can't tell you all individuals, but I will tell you you are in a very select few. So your discretion is needed. It's encouraged, and if you happen to slip, it's your due diligence, or it's on you to fix the slip up, whatever that may entail. This project is incredibly sensitive, and I think a good avenue and a place that the archive lacks knowledge of. But aside from that, Elohandra will have the details of your assignment. She has requested another expositor, and you, by extension, to aid in whatever she needs. Do you have any questions so far?
What would worst case scenario here be? Who are we trying to stop from getting their hands on this Whitestone?
There are a number of groups who want this access to this mine. Many of them come from Karth. A lot of the syndicates there want to get this into supply and onto their trade ships. Ostanza would definitely have interest. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the atmosphere, the tension has been building, and I'm sure they found out by now, but if they haven't already, when they find out, that will make negotiation with Tura very difficult, because they would feel at a disadvantage, may even start a war.
Do the Guanjin Mountains, or at least the quarry where it resides, is that on the Turan side of the border, or is it Shikumen?
That in lies another delicate situation which I was going to get to. The initial pocket of Whitestone was found on the Turian side. Further excavation into the Guanjay Mountains through this quarry has yielded this vein extends well into the Guanjay Mountains, and we are very quickly approaching Shikumun territory. It's
How do you know? How do you know when you cross underground into Shikumo?
Actually, a good question.
It's not an exact science. However, we have experts who do this sort of tunnel boring for a living, and they kind of can gauge relative distance. We haven't broken through by any means. However, there's a few things that need to be taken into consideration. One, Shikumo is in no way has any relation, foreign or otherwise, with anyone other than Karth. So, the potential here for political undoing and just conflict.
There's a bit of a political tightrope going on here.
Correct.
Do we know if Shikumo knows about the Whitestone?
It's hard to tell. We haven't found any signs or any other mine shafts into the Guanjay Mountains leading from another side. But what's curious is we found tunnels into the Underdark, deep into subterranean Gaia, which would explain and account for some of the Underdark creatures surfacing. That entails another, complicated aspect of this mission. One that I'm sure Alejandra and her team will bring you up to speed on. However, like I said before, there's a good chance the end of this excavation, or even before the end, we'll need to somehow arbitrate a deal with Shikumo. I don't think mining in secret will go on for too much longer. But again, Alejandra will have more of that information for you, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure if it comes to it, you can always call on the services of the newly Royal Hightower Trading Company. I'm sure we can add some legitimacy to that front.
Of course. I will say that the journey is quite long. It's about 250 miles to the quarry. I will supply you with horses. You can go and see Mildred at the western gates of the city. She already knows of your coming, and she'll supply you with the horses. I will also give you each 50 gold for your travel expenses and whatever supplies you may need to pick up. I have instructed the members beneath the archive for you to take a look at their barracks, their storeroom. And then, as far as contact, there's a bit of a shortage on sending stones from long distances. But you can go and see Claire in the back of the archive. She runs our hatchery. We use carrier pigeons mostly. I'm assigning you our very best. His name is Elton, and he can be used to send messages to and from wherever you are to Tura. I will advise you he goes the speed of a pigeon, and while he is fast, there is a bit of a lag. So I advise you to use it sparingly, and to use it at least notifying us when you get to the quarry. If you do get in trouble, feel free to send him, but there will be lag time.
Is Elton able to fly above the Cinder Peaks, or does he also have to go around?
Elton is, when you see him, that should answer your question, but Elton has been augmented to do what he does best, which is fly.
I see.
You have the map. I will say I have set up, at least tentatively, I have advised a dear friend of mine going way back in Answood, a young lady named Meryl Sky. That's Answood's over here. Of your potential arrival. I advise you go west. East is a little bit less traveled. It may be a tad quicker, but the broken arches and really Talark Trail, they are just less frequented, and there are more beasts of burden, or not burden, excuse me, deadly beasts and bandits. It's kind of lawless, at least more so than the typical Pentapass road. However, choose whatever way you wish. Merrill has been notified of your arrival and will hopefully roll out the red carpet when you arrive. After that, you're on your own. But do you have any other questions on this mission that I haven't answered already? Any concerns? Be happy to air them out.
Small question, considering that they're going to be traveling with the automaton that you were able to recognize quickly. Are automatons common?
I have only been exposed to one in my travels, and it was by a very wealthy merchant who used an automaton instead of a mule. I'll be honest, the form of this automaton, Iris, is a little bit out there. I would probably suggest wearing some sort of concealing clothing, especially as you get south.
Hey, Iris,
Can I-
does that mean you could turn to a horse?
If I can, I do not know how to do that yet.
He
Can you
wasn't
travel
a-
at the speed of a horse?
I believe it is possible, considering I do not technically need to breathe.
Hmm.
Well, I'm very excited that you've chosen this path. I'm sure there's great things to come. I just want to remind you of the importance of this mission and the importance of its secrecy. Tell no one what you are doing, where you are going, and why you are going there.
Understood.
I do have one more question, Sia.
Of course.
The Caldronian Whitestone, does it differ at all from Turian, or not Turian, from Taldorian
Taldorian.
Whitestone? Are there any differences that you can distinguish between the two?
Great question. From our records and from the little I have sampled myself, it seems as though initially when the Whitestone was found in Taldore, it was of a magnitude unparalleled, unseen before. However, as the veins have deepened and time has gone on, the quality of Taldorian Whitestone has dwindled slightly, and its potency has as well. Being that we have just discovered this vein just 3 years ago, this is the strongest magical substance on the material plane.
Wait, so you've known about this for about 3 years now?
Yes.
Would we be able to borrow some books from the archive to read on our travels about Whitestone and the region, and might maybe some mining books, just to educate ourselves? I don't think we're all experts.
If you talk to Leah and tell her you have my blessing to take 2 books from the archive, we like to keep them from being loaned out. As long as you return them in the same condition to the archive at the quarry, then you have a deal. I will make sure to let Alejandra know you have 2 books. We're very serious
Yes.
about this.
That sounds like a deal to me. Thank
Okay.
you.
And you have my blessing to access them from the restricted areas.
Ooh.
However, Leah will be there to monitor you.
Jara's eyes go wide a little bit at that.
Within reason.
Therathari, your
Yes.
brooch will get you to these access points.
Excellent.
All right. Well, you can go and see Claire out back, or Leah, whoever you choose. Just let me know when you leave, and I will be there to wish you good luck.
One more question before we go. Is there a requisition of magical supply we might be able to, if not requisition, then at least purchase? I think all things considered, if an automaton is going to draw attention, you should probably do something about that.
Yes, you can go and talk to... Cole. He runs our barracks. In the basement. I believe you've been in the basement once or twice.
A few times, yes.
He runs our barracks. You may choose an item from there. It will be bundled into your payment, let's call it.
Very well. So, if there are no other questions, let's get you all situated.
Yeah. I'm
Good
good.
luck, and I'll see you later, hopefully.
Thank you.
Where are you guys going?
Take care.
So let's go check out those books.
Yeah, I'm most interested in the books, and then the barracks, and then the owlery. That's my order.
Yeah, telling the mirror. All right, so we should go. Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Jar, as soon as we get out of the office, let's go to the books.
Books, barracks,
I
birds.
asked that for Jara. I was like, Jara's gonna want some literature.
I appreciate that.
So, fast forwarding a little, unless you want to do any sort of talking on the way down to... actually, you don't need to find Leah. She's been notified. She'll find you. But Therathari, you have potentially access to some of the restricted areas through your brooch.
Ooh.
So you don't need anyone.
Yes, well, seeing as how we only get 2, I'd like each of you to make a case as to why the book you choose should come with us.
That sounds fair. You're the one.
I was under the impression that you were going to be taking books that were relevant.
Oh yes, I mean I figured I'd like to learn a little bit more about how this Whitestone stuff works. Considering that I have some. That's partially why I asked.
We've had a few slivers of Whitestone reserves pass through the company, but never at this scale, so I'm very curious to see what happens.
Jar, is there anything that you're particularly interested in?
Yeah, I mean, I think having a book on the properties of Whitestone is a good idea. I think it also might be good to see if there is something related to the culture of Shikumo, just in case we come across anyone. It might be good to know a little bit about their customs and
That's a fair
history.
idea, actually.
Yeah, that's
Jared,
especially
I got a
if we're going to be
question for you.
negotiating with them.
Mm-hmm.
One is out of character, and one is in character. Out of character, where is this current Tal'Dorei in relation to the timeline of Mercer Tal'Dorei?
It is...
Has campaign 2 happened yet or no?
It is... No.
Okay. So we're pre-campaign 2.
Well, so there's also...
And I imagine you diverge at some point.
Well, so I diverged before campaign 2. The background to this is the campaign 1, or my other campaign that Tony and Dan played in.
Mm-hmm.
That is before this. Yes, before this. And
Okay.
essentially what's going on there is that continent was in a civil war
Okay.
and is no longer.
Okay.
Hey, Tony B. 1. That's good to know.
Oh, sick. Well, let's go.
Hey! Okay. So then second question, more of a character question.
Sure.
Does Iris have any knowledge or remembrance of Whitestone? Is that something she would be aware
You have never
of?
heard... Make a history check.
Okay.
Felix, do you brandish your Whitestone, or are you leaving it tucked away?
Oh no, I'm leaving it tucked away in I think my bag of holding. Probably.
Iris's first check is a 16 history.
Okay. You have never heard the name of Whitestone before. You don't even know, really. I mean, you imagine it's literally a white stone. However, very, very deep in your memory bank, you have heard of like really intense, potent magical augments, or like materials you can augment spells with that will enhance them. As far as what specifically, you don't remember, but you know that there has been some sort of material vaguely in your memory bank that follows the same pattern.
Did the word residuum spark anything either, or is that a newer term?
Residuum is relatively new. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not something you know either. At least by name. Okay. So, Therathari, you have access to some of the books on the 3rd floor, which previously were locked away. If you remember, I described almost a bank vault at the very end of the hallway in which Sia's office is. You can try and access it if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to approach it, and I presume everybody is in tow.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Jara's like right behind you.
So,
Okay, so
Almost uncomfortably close.
how funny would it be if the door doesn't open now? That'd be so fucked up. All right.
Wouldn't that be fucked up or what?
You step forward through the hallway, and you get to about 5 feet within the door, or the vault, excuse me. And as soon as you walk within this 5-foot threshold, you feel almost like passing through a gust of wind, if that makes sense. Therathari. And you look on the other side as you pass through, you turn around to see your friends, and you look and you can see this translucent, shimmering, very faint blue, almost like it's like a protection, like a ward. However, because you've passed through it, you can kind of see it fades, and your friends similarly walk through.
I'm so close that I initially walk into that barrier first before it fades, because that's how close I am.
There's a little bit of a kind of hit your head a little, but it almost immediately fades. And you turn as your friends enter in, and the translucent sort of force field returns. And you can now go for the door. You watch
Well?
as...
see what you can find.
Well, you didn't open the door yet. You step forward,
Oh,
and as you do, your brooch begins to vibrate slightly, and the golden feather kind of falls off and begins to animate, and it flies into a keyhole and unlocks the lock, flies back onto your brooch pin, and the door moves forward. And you step in. All right, what you guys see here is very low-lit lanterns hanging from the ceiling, like candles on them, seem to be ever burning. You see rows of bookshelves. It's almost like a bag of holding, but a room. The room's
Like
dimensions that you, the
Vlad's
building's
pocket dimension.
dimensions that you saw from the outside do not match the size of this library, of this section of the library. You can see there are owls that fly about and move books, and are like organizing and doing things. There are no people, just these birds. You walk
Therathari,
in.
do you think you can communicate with these owls? Can you ask them to bring us a book?
I would not even begin to understand how to do that, but perhaps the brooch can do something for us.
Worth a shot.
So I'll just sort of take it off and hold it out, palm
Well,
up.
the brooch.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you like walk into the threshold a little bit and you just finish that conversation, you watch as one of the owls kind of stops what it's doing, turns, flies to you, and as it's flying and landing, the feathers pull back and you can see blue come out as the feathers pull and the wings separate and a cloak kind of folds out of this owl. As you see like just a hooded figure, like black shadow in the hood, very faint blue eyes with the blue cloak, similar to the one you were given. And you hear in your mind, not really out loud. Hold on, let me get the voice. Therathari, how may we help you?
You can explain this situation first of all. Are you an owl or not?
We are the keepers of the books. The archive saw it fit to craft us. We are neither man nor owl.
Question: Do we all hear it, or just Therathari?
Therathari is just staring at this cloaked blue figure. It's like...
All right, I start wandering away.
Okay.
Iris will start wandering off as well.
All right. How may we help you?
Yes. Please escort my friends to books on. And I say this part out loud and gesture to them.
Whitestone and Shikumu culture.
You hear all the birds stop flapping. They all look at you, all of you, and out loud say, "Follow us, please."
Oh, that's unsettling.
The cloaked figure in front of you is levitating off the ground and kind of just levitates slightly, floating, while the rest of the birds or the owls continue to do what they were doing. He floats off. What you notice, Jara, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Jesus.
Constitution.
And whoever else wandered off. Whoever else wandered
Don't
off.
worry.
Oh, that would have been Iris as well.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
I stood by my guy.
It's only nat 1. No worries.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
What did Iris get?
Iris got an 11.
Okay, both of you, as you go to step away, it's like your vision narrows and the hallway or the rows between the books get infinitely long. And you step forward and keep going, and it looks like you should be making distance, but the end of the hallway just keeps going off into
Oh god, it's the
infinite
Peach's Castle
horizon.
staircase.
And it's so disorienting. And before long, you immediately snap out of it as this blue cloaked figure floats by you, and the rest of your group kind of forms around you. And you kind of come back to like the reality, to real world, and your head kind of feels weird, and your eyes are like still adjusting.
Are you
Okay.
doing all right?
Don't wander off. They're playing with portals. over
That
here.
was new.
Okay. You walk. They lead you to a seemingly random book. Oh, actually, I should describe this better. What you see happen is, as you leave the main walkway where all the bookshelves are, you take a few steps, and it kind of seems like the bookshelves are moving and shifting as you're walking. And eventually, the figure stops, the bookshelves stop shifting, and you have arrived at the right section. It's kind of like they beckoned forward the section of books. And you hear a voice out loud, all of you. "We have taken you to your category." And with that,
Which one?
they're both. All the books related have been grouped together.
Perfect.
Oh, boo.
This is it's like a magic, it's a magic library. They kind of
That's incredible.
Dewey Decimal System, they bring it forward.
Okay.
turns
I'll
back into a
take a look through the books.
Yeah, I'll start browsing as
All
well.
of you make investigation checks who are looking, followed by a D12.
Oh, much
Thari,
better.
You have advantage on this investigation, so let me.
I got a 23 investigation.
I got a-
17 for Iris.
16. And
And
we
then-
all are rolling a d12?
Yep. Give me a sec.
My
Felix,
D12
what'd you
is
get,
a-
16.
Yep.
And then what's your D12?
5.
Mine's a 4.
Okay,
Iris rolled a 1, D12.
All right, and then Thari, you have advantage on your investigation. What'd you get?
I got 11 and 11.
Oh, you roll me a D100,
Ooh.
not a D12.
Oh, okay. So 11 on the investigation and the D100, 74.
Okay. So, start with Jara. Jara, you walk down, again, being a little bit, trepidatious. Whatever the fuck just happened to you, you don't want to have happen again. However, you get sufficiently far enough to where whatever effect should have happened didn't. So you continue to wander, and you manage to find, with your roll, 2 books, both on Shikumen culture. One written almost 1,000 years ago, and one written in the last 300 years. Strangely
Okay.
enough, they are by the same person.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
The name this. Okay. It's one name, actually. So I didn't give him a last name. Kia. Kiya.
Spell that one more time.
Kiya. One name. Same person. Okay. Iris, with a 17 and a 1. You find a book on Shikuman religion.
Ooh.
Felix, with a 16 and a 5. That's a 5. Okay. You managed to find a book on Whitestone's uses applied to medicine. And Therathari, with your 11, you find a book on Whitestone by one of the very first researchers of Whitestone, a man named... I'll just send this to you in the chat here. General, his name is... It's not Vlad, it's Vald. Vald Rayford. Vald Rayford, and this is a book on the very first, one of the only books on the very first Whitestone ever harvested, which would be similar to the ones harvested in Black Rock Quarry. So, you all bring forth your books to, I assume, Therathari for investigation. And you may plead your cases.
I want to take a quick look at my 2 books. What are we talking about thickness-wise? Can I do like a skim through the contents, like the table of contents, to see what it includes?
Sure, which
If
book will
there's
you do first?
I'll start with the older one and then look at the newer one.
Alright,
See
the
what
older
differences
one
are.
is a lot larger than the newer one.
Okay.
It seems to be a volume 1. The second one is a volume 2.
Interesting.
It's a direct add-on to what volume 1 was. But from the...
So it supplements, it doesn't replace.
Correct. Also, what you notice is this individual, Kia, is somehow able to live amongst the Shikuman people while being an outsider.
So what content differences are there between the 2?
I mean, through a skim, you can't really tell. It's just one is older.
Just looking at like the table of contents, looking at the major headers.
One. I mean, what? So restate.
Like
you're trying to-
what was the need? Like, all right, let's put it this way: what new information was included in Volume 2 that was missing from Volume 1?
There are chapters that are similarly named, identically named, which you could assume would probably be an update to that information. There are a few new chapters, particularly surrounding the latest, emperor and family. What you notice is between Volume 1 and 2, there was I don't even know what a royal family change, if you will.
Dynasty?
Thank you. The dynasty changed in the last 300 years.
Interesting.
All right.
And they both contain like culture-related things in there, right?
Mostly culture. It's not so much history,
Okay.
but it's like culture under the latest emperor.
Okay.
I will say, with the 23, you do note that for some reason, the emperor at least, or the emperors of Shikumo live a long time.
Okay.
All right. So how are you pleading your case to Therathari? And I would assume you'd want to persuade. I don't know if Therathari is just going to choose, but however you want to do it. I'll shut up.
All right. Yeah. Well, I found here 2 books on Shikumo culture. I took a brief skim. Interesting tidbit. They're both by the same author, although they're about 700 years apart. The second volume, I think, is the one I'm leaning towards. It was written about 300 years ago, but it's got information. There's apparently a dynasty change in the rulers, and it's got some updated cultural information about how things changed under the new ruler. So I think sticking with the most recent information might be best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's at least my 2 cents about what I found.
I will say, just last
Yes,
thing.
it would be good to have something on the culture.
Also, Jared, you're muted.
I will say, last thing though, there are a ton of instances where he references his old work without additional information.
Yeah, I figured we'll have to
We'll work around it.
work around what we have.
All right, Iris, how are you selling your book?
Iris is going to look through the list of divinities in Shikumo. Does anything in particular of this book strike her just sort of like, oh, this is something to keep in mind?
Make a religion check.
Religion. Oh boy.
I can't imagine that Iris is very religious.
13.
Yeah, I wonder how much we're going to learn about her past just by these checks.
13. There are a few names in here that you recognize.
Oh shit.
The first one, and these are kind of the, for lack of a better word, these are like the tribal gods. Okay?
Mhm.
I'm just gonna paste them in private chat to you. Just a brief. I'm only giving you 2. Okay. They should seem familiar, but in my world, that they are almost all like. There we go. Those are the 2 you recognize. They are not worshipped, to your knowledge, or excuse me. You don't know if they're worshipped or not anymore. Let's just say that. They're old, though. Okay. And then there's a bunch you don't recognize.
Iris, what do you make of your book? You think
There's
it'll be
names in here
valuable?
I'm familiar with.
Okay. Would it help us on our mission, you think?
I believe it would be useful for my personal advancement. However, I am not aware if either of these entities would be helpful for Whitestone.
Well,
Okay,
the
very well.
Shikumo book would be more about, fitting in with the culture of a new area and not offending anyone. That would be my primary goal with the book.
I would consider that, from what I used to remember, these deities are not primarily worshipped. They are tribal entities.
All right.
That may be
There.
wisdom enough. And you, Felix?
Well, I found a book on Whitestone's uses in medicine specifically, which I think could definitely be useful if we are ever in need of medication or restorative agents. Flipping through the book, Jared, is it like more of a recipe book or more like, I don't know, like paragraphs?
There are recipes as well as, in some instances, very explicit order of operations steps. And in a lot of cases, they are you're forewarned that if you deviate even slightly from these steps, you could seriously maim or kill somebody, even though you're trying to help.
Oh.
It's Whitestone. It's very powerful.
Yeah, so there's some step-by-step instructions here. I think it could definitely be useful. Seems sort of risky, but I mean, who knows? We've been in dire situations before. So.
And what I've uncovered from the shelf is a book on some of the initial studies of Whitestone. Perhaps not unlike what would be happening at the quarry.
That would definitely help. It would more so help us understand like what's going on and how to make the most of, I guess, what we have down there.
Well, my thought is if whichever book gives us more of a fundamental understanding of how Whitestone works, I think we should go with that one, because once we understand the fundamentals, we can work on the application.
That'd probably be Therathari's, I would assume.
I tend to agree that this would be the book to do that, but wouldn't you think that Alejandra has some fundamental understanding? For being stationed there, I would think so.
Hey, she's been studying it for 3 years.
Possibly. Good point. So
In
maybe
which
we-
case,
maybe
I would
take-
feel more comfortable bringing at least one of the books on the Shakuman culture, if not both.
I'd be okay with that if we want to bring both volumes of Jara's books.
Fine with me.
Okay, it's settled.
Okay.
All right.
Kumo for Dummies, Volume 1 and 2.
Hey,
I'll hand both the books over to Therathari because I'm assuming I can't keep them.
Correct.
Oh no, you hold on to these. I'm sure you're a faster reader than I.
Oh, okay.
in the meanwhile, while the other books are getting sorted out, I'm going to just say that Tenley didn't join in on the book stuff because she figured everyone else would be handling that enough. But she will just sort of like grab Therathari's attention and go, "So, since this library seems to have information on anything and everything, would it have anything on Iris?"
If it did, they would know. And I take off the brooch.
Another owl comes by, flips into the same blue cloaked, hooded figure. Therathari, how may we help you?
Can you find us something about automata?
Follow us. And it will lead you further down the hallway.
Cool.
And the books shift rows and rows. It's kind of like one goes forward, one goes right, one goes back, and it just keeps going on all these infinite rows. And eventually it stops walking, it turns to you. We have found your category. And flies away.
Iris, we have something for you. How many books are there in this particular search?
1.
Oh.
This is like when you go to Google. Basically, what happens is he went to Google and he went to like page 20.
Oh god.
These are like when the websites are crawled. These are like the parts of the graph of connections that are like the fringe edges.
Once you get past page 4, you can't trust anything at that
Page
point.
4. I mean, you're going deeper than me.
Yeah, I want to look at the book.
Okay. You take out the book. You flip through it. It is extremely short, and it is titled. Hold on, I have. It is titled. Wait, I didn't. Oh yeah, okay. The void. I didn't finish the title.
The void.
The Void.
We're just calling it the void. I put ... The void ... I fuck with it.
Ah, that's fine. Big chillin'.
I go, well, that's an intriguing title.
How old is that book?
It's falling apart.
Does it have an author?
No.
Damn.
Can you ask the owls how old this book is?
I tried to mentally contact an owl. A bookkeeper.
Therathari, how may we help you?
How old is this book that you found?
We are calculating.
Oh, that's
Age
taking a while.
unspecified.
Oh.
Is it written in common?
Yeah, is it a language
You
we
open
know?
the book?
Well, I wouldn't. I'm not touching it.
You
I'm
open
opening the book.
It is in hieroglyphics, essentially.
Damn.
God. What languages in particular? Let me actually go see if Tenley would know what's going on here. Is Celestial Common and Elvish for Tenley?
Nope.
I doubt it's gnomish.
The owls. No. The owl says in your mind. Book was introduced to the archive by Preston Hume, circa 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago.
Oh.
Do they know the language?
Language unknown.
Damn it.
Iris knows Celestial, Common, and Primordial.
Well, if it's language unknown, that tells you that it's probably not a written language of modern times.
Oh, Lord.
Well,
It is
I
taken.
can't make heads or tails of this. I ain't never seen no language like this before.
Do we
I
have a means to translate this?
I do not.
It'd be great with that comprehend language spell, which I don't have.
Yeah, same.
That is... I don't think I have that. Nope. Are the owls able to translate this, or is that someone who knows comprehend languages that can
I found the
we can
title.
acquisition for this? Hey.
Whispers from the Void.
Oh, that's ominous.
Well, how do we even know the title?
Is the title
that's a
in
good
common?
question. The title is probably, it was translated maybe, let's say. It was
There's,
probably
like,
written in some
a sticky note
known
over it.
common language,
Okay, so someone knows how to translate this then.
potentially. Or
Can
maybe
we-
maybe that guy did.
Can we requisition someone to...
Who was the guy that found it 2,000 years
Preston
ago? Well,
Hume.
it was 2,000 years ago. How it's not gonna be alive?
Preston. Well, hey, I mean, the same guy wrote both of your books.
But I mean, that's 700 years compared to 2,000 years.
I don't know. Anything's possible at this point.
Well, we should take a note of this Preston fella. Maybe we could find a bit about him. And if he knew how to read it, maybe he wrote down what language it was. Hey, Owl. There anything on this Preston guy in this records? I just kind of shouted out.
Jara, I don't know if they
It
listen.
probably doesn't. That doesn't do anything, but I shouted out anyway.
There's no answer.
Well, that answers that question.
I feel like I have more questions now than I did when I came in here.
I feel like that's the curse of this library, is that you're going to have far more questions and you're going to be stuck here forever.
I wouldn't mind being stuck here forever.
Well,
Perhaps
If
you would
it
if the hallway
helps.
never ended.
Well,
if it helps, I can put some time into digging around this on my off time while you're out hunting for the Whitestone incidents.
I'm sure
I don't
Q would
know-
be interested and perhaps
That's
have a
true.
contact.
I don't know if they'll let me in without that brooch. However, I can talk to Sia about looking at this particular tome.
All you need is the name.
Fair enough.
To approach Q, that is.
Oh, right.
I think I'm,
Don't be so excited about a scavenger hunt.
Right. Well, while I'm particularly curious about the automatons thing, I feel like if we continue to dig here, we're just going to be stuck here for hours.
well, I'll meet up with you guys later. Then I'll just stay here for a little bit longer.
Jara, I don't think that'll work with that Therathari. Remember what happened last time?
Oh, all right. I guess I'll go with y'all.
Let's
sure,
go see
there
what they
will
have
be
for
another
us
one
at
in the quarry.
The barracks. And yeah,
Iris will sort of perk her head back up. Is this something we can take with us?
is what?
And the book about the void, she'll gesture to.
Whispers
Oh.
from the Void.
I mean, we could if we got rid of one of the other Shikuma books.
Bestseller. One copy printed.
Well, I mean, I could sketch down some of the language, and we can see if we can find anyone who recognizes it. If you want to do that.
I would agree to that alternative.
Okay. I will take out a piece of paper, and I have a quill and ink, and I'll try to copy some of the hieroglyphics.
Okay, make a dexterity check.
Alrighty. Oh, another good roll. 21.
All begin to sketch out the first couple of pages of hieroglyphics, and you notice no matter how hard you try, ink does not fall onto your page.
Well, that is just a little pain in the ass.
Oh, well, that would make sense to have some sort of defense mechanism like this.
Let me see the paper, Jara.
Yeah, hand you the paper.
I'm gonna look over Felix's shoulder.
I'm gonna try to make the hieroglyphs appear on the paper with my magical tinkering.
Is there a roll for that?
No, it's just an ability that I have.
8 does not work.
Damn
Do
it.
I see anything on the page?
What about that? I was gonna say,
Nobody.
what about that special ink you have? But then I guess no
You
one
can try the
will
special
be,
link if you'd like.
no one will be able to read it though, except for you and a few other.
It'd be a
people.
waste of the special ink as well. If it
But
doesn't work.
if he could copy it onto the paper and then in normal ink outside of here, copy it onto a normal paper.
I will say, Therathari,
Something.
that may not sit right with you as being just
It's-
indoctrinated.
Something tells me whatever magical protections are preventing you from writing it now would do the same for your scheme.
Well, I tried.
Everyone just try to remember, and we'll write it on the outside to the best of our memory. Too bad we don't have cameras.
What's a camera?
What?
I don't know. It's something I heard of.
And Garth.
Well, unless Iris here has a poor photographic memory, then I guess we're stuck. Iris
seems
does not.
she doesn't know much
Iris
of the
does not
memories.
have that.
She didn't get the latest update.
Said, or what
She's
was
about
it?
2,000
Divine.
years overdue.
Yeah.
She has malware installed.
Well, why don't we just look into this Preston?
You got to call Windows support, and they'll tell you to buy 5 Amazon gift cards and ship it to an address.
Well, Iris, why don't we look into this Preston guy, and then once we learn more about him, we could always come back for the book if we find something out.
Yeah, it's here. Like we know where it is, and Therathari has access to it, so we haven't forgotten about it.
That is good to keep in mind.
Okay. You leave the archive or the library portion?
Yeah.
Yes, onto the barracks.
Where I once was like incredibly close to Therathari, I'm now like lagging behind.
The farther
Yes, weighed
you
down
lag,
by your 2 volumes.
The farther you lag, the farther the hallway begins to extend.
All right, well, I speed up just a little bit, just so that it stops doing that. But I'm unwillingly doing it.
Okay.
John, are you going to get motion sickness if you keep walking that slowly?
Well, yeah, probably. I just don't want to leave. This is like beautiful, beautiful place here.
Well, as the faster you get this Whitestone expedition done and come back, the faster you can continue to browse it. God, that's
Valid
such a
point.
mother.
5 more minutes, Mom. Alright, you all leave the reserved section, the way beyond section of the library. Heading out the vault door, it shuts behind you. The temporary disabling of the the force wall. You are now out into the hallway.
Alright, barracks are next.
Yep. Let's go
Yep.
downstairs.
Alright, you make your way all the way down the stairs to the entrance to the underbelly of the archive where they are training. You can hear and see them training on these mats. They're doing parrying, like training with bow staffs, all sorts of fun stuff. You see the library in which you met that old lady, the blind lady. She's there along with other students who are reading. You can see the infirmary over on the right side, and then in the way back, you see people leaving and entering a room, leaving with, in some cases, weapons. So you have a good idea that it's back there. Immediately, there are eyes on you, but as soon as they see the brooch of Therathari, as you walk by, some of the underlings sort of bow towards you. And you are now in the underbelly. You go to that side room.
Yep.
Do anything specifically? Test out your
Now
new
do.
badge, Therathari? What do you want to do?
Okay, so Sia gave us a name.
Yep.
Have we met that
Cole.
person before?
Cole.
Cole?
You have not met Cole. You haven't really gone to the barracks.
Okay. So I'll raise my voice slightly and say, requesting the presence of Cole.
A few people look at you kind of a little weird at first, but then they notice that you're wearing it, and then one of them scurries off to the side room where the barracks are. Out comes a bald, tan-skinned, super muscular, like 5'8", massive jack dude. He's got on a muscle tee, short, like ripped shorts that
I
kind
love
of probably
this.
were like sweatpants that he's ripped at like the mid quad. He's got on like sandals you would probably expect when you're walking on sort of a mat somewhere, so as to not harm the material. He's got a cloth that he kind of washes his body. He's like one of those people who's always like has that oily like glow.
Right.
You know.
Mhm.
Somebody requested Cole.
Yes, that was I, their Athari.
He steps forward, scurrying around the mat to you. What can I do for you?
Well, my party and I will be traveling to the Black Rock Quarries on execution, executor duties. Forgive me, the title is new to me.
I can tell. Well, welcome to the expositor position. You said she sent you down here? For what specifically? You just gonna peruse?
Yes, we'd like to see what you have. Might it help us on the journey?
These folk with you?
They are. Save that one, and I point at Henley.
All right, follow me. And he'll lead you to mind the training, please. Lead you outskirts of the mat into the back room. So there's no door on this room. You can see as you step in, it opens up to maybe about like a 20 by 30 room, more long than it is wide. And there are stacks on the walls. There's like cubbies people put things in, but there are also like hanging like portions of the wall where they like hang all of like the bow staffs. There's swords that hang there, kind of like you would like hang tools in your workshop. They're kind of hanging like that. And then there on the far wall to the right, there is a kind of locker system set up where there are more deadly quote-unquote weapons and armor and things. You need me to help you out, or you take your pick? I believe we do one item only, and I'll be checking you. Nobody fuck around.
Is this standard requisition, as in they take items and return them when they come back, or is this
Yes, it's heavily encouraged.
And are these mundane items you have for them, or are there additional magical implements that can be purchased, quote unquote?
Well, the magical implements are reserved for expositors only, so you may take them, but the rest of you may not.
Understandable. You would know this better than I imagine. And turn to point to Iris. We have an automaton, and likely to
Automa what?
gather. And Iris will actually cast message on Cole here, and just speak into his head. Hello, my name is Iris.
Oh, around here we don't do none of that magic nonsense. We speak with our words, all right? This is a. I don't know.
I'd like a shield.
All right.
That's all I say.
Iris will just wave her hand. Hello, my name is Iris.
All right. Tama Doohickey, nice to meet you. I'm Cole.
She's not exactly. I don't know if she's mortal.
I
but
gathered.
She's likely going to gather attention out in the field. Do you have anything that
Doing
will
that
help
kind
her
of shit,
blend?
yeah.
Is there anything that you might suggest to help her blend in, or at least be less immediately noticeable?
I'd start with a cloak, hood, something like that. We got masks if you want to wear a mask.
Is Iris's face like automaton-like, or is it more so her body?
A little bit of everything. She has a couple of like grooves here and there that are like
Okay.
definitely clearly manufactured, or to that extent.
Little man,
Iris-
shields are over there. No point.
Iris, let's go shopping.
Thank you.
Tenley's gonna take Iris to go look at clothes.
You hear as you roll by or walk by. Fucking magic. He's like rubs his temple. And he leans up. He's like looking out the doorway, but one eye on you, one eye on the doorway.
Since it's only mundane items for us, Jar doesn't need anything. He finds a bench and starts reading the new Shikamo books.
Okay. All right. So
And
what are you guys looking
Cole,
for?
do you have anything in Felix's size?
Yeah, all
Don't
these are huge.
discriminate here at the archive. We have all shapes and sizes, creeds and races. You'll find them. Just keep looking. There's
Thank
like
you for the help.
gnome equivalent size things or like
Gotcha.
halfling size.
Ah, I found it. I got it. Thank you.
He like gives a weird eye towards Iris. So yeah, what are you guys looking for?
I'm just gonna take my shield.
Okay.
Yeah, for the purpose of, unless there is anything like a hat of disguise equivalent that they could requisition for Iris, Tenley is just going to sift through the spare travel clothing and put together a nice little outfit for Iris.
Okay. There is one such magical item. It's let me see.
Magical item in Cole's armory.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, so the hat there is like I put it as a bracers of disguise. They don't serve as any armor, but essentially expositors can be issued items to disguise themselves. That would be if you want that, Tom would or Therathari would have to use his requisition for that magic item because only he is able to check out a magic item as an expositor.
Completely up to you. I have Iris looking wonderful over here, and Iris is currently now decked out in like a sort of like a blue dress shirt, dark slacks, brown boots that come up to the shin, and a white cloak, cape, and mantle outfit. It's kind of like almost kind of like I would say a light mage is what Tenley would have gone for with that outfit.
Ah, well, what do you think? She blends in more than usual, right?
I mean, she looks much more humanoid, though I imagine if someone were to approach her closely, someone would wonder why she is scarred all up and down the face.
A horrible accident in her childhood.
Well, if you can sell it, ultimately
I
up
can
to
sell
you.
anything to Emily. You know this.
I am well aware that you can.
Well,
So ultimately, it's up to you to determine how much you would like to disguise the automaton you're traveling with.
but
I think we ought to see how we travel with Iris first, and then choose. Granted, that might involve coming all the way back here, but
I mean,
nevertheless, I would rather not deprive
Unless
the.
there's... Is there anything specific you wanted to requisition? Otherwise, I imagine you could just...
if there's nothing better, we can go with the bracers. But if there's something more useful,
I mean, maybe we give her a mask or something.
Do you see anything like that, or do you have one of your own?
Nelly doesn't have one on her. There's a couple
find a
of
mask.
different masquerade masks at home, but she can probably find one in this little
Find a mask.
armor. Yeah.
Also, would such an item even work on a non-human?
Yeah, usually they work on humanoid.
Yeah,
Which Iris
referring to
qualifies
like
as.
the shape. Yeah, it's just like
okay.
a body
Yep.
shape. That's all.
Iris is
Right.
humanoid.
well, why don't you look and see if there's a magic item you want, and if not, we go for the braces as the backup.
Sensible. Do I see anything, Jared, in the armory that's interesting?
Okay. I'll give you a choice. I can tell you 2 common-ish items, or I can tell you 1 rare item.
Well, it has to be the rare item.
Ooh.
Yeah, no question.
I want to see reactions when I say this. So, This item is called the Ring of Memories. While wearing it and attuned to it, you have the Keen Mind feat. You have a +1 to intelligence. And you have, once a day, the ability to implant a memory into someone's mind. But if they fail a saving roll, they know you attempted it.
You mean
they know
succeed
what
on
the
the saving
memory
roll?
would have been.
Yeah.
I imagine you mean succeed on it.
Yes,
Mhm.
Thank you. If they succeed, meaning you do not implant a memory, then essentially they know you tried to do that, and they know the memory you tried to implant. High risk, high reward.
Well, Tony and I certainly don't mess with anyone's memories, right, Tony?
Yeah, well, this is a brand new item to me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So if you want that, you can take it, or you can take the bracers.
Well, this is a difficult choice. On the one hand, there's the prospect of complete and utter mischief, and on the other hand, a memory ring.
Wait.
It's true.
Oh, just what now?
The ring seems very potent.
Oh.
Agreed.
Well, if the ring is much more powerful than the disguises, I can just put together some makeup for Iris or something.
I have some makeup actually. Iris, here, take this makeup. I'm not using anything with it. I just found it.
Iris will kind of just sort of take it and look very confused why there is crushed pigment in.
Yeah, it's probably not in the best shape, but here, I'm happy to get it out of my inventory.
Jara sees that Felix has makeup and like raises an eyebrow, and then takes out his notebook and writes something down. Away.
I think this was like Jessipina's makeup or something. It's yours now, Iris.
That's wet.
Did y'all get what you need? I got trainees coming in.
I think Iris should be fine with the cute little getup I've given up. The ring should probably be something you take.
Yes, I would like to requisition this. And I show him the ring.
Right, just fill out that clipboard there with your name, today's date, and if you don't return it, we'll come find you. I trust you know that, expositor.
Yes. Quite clear.
All right. It was nice seeing you. With all due respect, get the hell out of my armory. Okay. With that, we'll take our
what
5
shield
minutes.
did you get?
It's +1 shield, right? Right, Tony?
Oh, is it +1 shield? It's not just like a normal shield?
Wait, hold on.
A +1 shield means it's like enchanted.
Yeah, +1 would be
right,
magic.
Right. Yeah, no, normal shield.
Okay.
I'm used to looking at loot from level 14 or 13 players. Okay. We'll take a 5-minute break here. We'll come back around 8:10. I'll have that item in D&D Beyond for you, Tom. You can add it, and then we'll go from there.
It's awesome, by the
Okay.
way. Scorn had it. It's great.
Okay.
We in no way use that ring to alter anyone's memories. That is something that we've
no.
been very.
We are back. The day is yours.
We still have to go to the owlery, right?
Right.
Yep. The hatchery.
Yeah,
Oh.
we gotta go meet Elton.
Yeah.
So Claire is the lady who runs it, but Elton is your pigeon.
Yeah, I care more about Elton than Claire, but yeah.
All right, you guys make your way around the backside of the Order of the Archive to a proper hatchery. You can see it's a pretty opened dome, open dome. It's closed in, but it's pretty big. And you can see there's cages for pigeons, and there's like posts and rings where they fly through, and they train how to, fly and all that stuff. There are a bunch of people working here who wearing... This is a green version of the Order of the Archive cloak. They are not considered archivists. They have no privileges inside of the facility. However, they man the hatchery. And specifically, this one is pigeons. It's not like Harry Potter where they choose the slowest flying bird to deliver mail, aka owls.
Yeah, but owls like freaking intimidating. You
They
wouldn't
do.
you wouldn't fuck with an owl.
But the thing is, you don't really see pigeons, you know? Owls have a presence.
Yeah, right.
There's ups and downs. But in this case,
There are.
pigeons are much faster. And especially this one. So you go to the hatchery. There is a young halfling woman with red hair. She has it tied neatly into like two buns that sit on the top left and right of her head. She wears this green cloak. She has on this big leather glove where there are 3 pigeons sitting on her arm, and she's like talking to them and feeding them. You can see on the pigeons, they're wearing some kind of, it's almost like a leather, like not like a cloak, but like leather belt kind of. And you could see her fasten in, as you're approaching, fasten in these very small scrolls into these pouches. And then she says a command word, and they take off and fly. As that happens, she turns to you, takes her glove off. Oh, goodness, you scared me. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the hatchery. What can I do for you? She gives you
We are
a
here to
curious
meet-
iris. Sorry, go ahead.
We are here to meet Elton.
Ah, see, you mentioned you'd stop by. All right. Well, would you like to wear this? And she'll hand you the glove.
I put it on eagerly.
All right. You hear her shout, "Elton," and then a command word, and from the birds that are flying about and stood on stoops, kind of watching. You watch as a bird kind of takes off, lands on your arm, looks at you, kind of bobbing its head. It's got a similar satchel sort of situation going on, like a pigeon satchel. And he lands on your arm. She pets his head. Elton, this is... She looks at you.
Therathari. And my group.
Well, he needs to bond with you. And she'll hand you some feed. And you start to feed it. Make an animal handling check. As you roll that, what do you get?
15.
She starts describing to you the basics of Elton. I'm not sure if Sia has gone into detail about how to care for one of these delicate creatures, but strict diet of grain only. We were told to supply you with enough for at least 2 months. Feed once a day, and water twice a day, usually in the morning and at night. When you travel, it stays in its cage. However, when you are sort of sitting about, doing nothing, feel free to let them out, roam around. They will come back. They are trained to do so. And you have to come up with your own command word. There's one for come back, return. And then there's one for, like, deliver this message, and you would develop out your own sort of language for it. And then there's also one for, like, time to eat. Make sure to clean the cage regularly. We recommend once a day. And if there's anything seems off about Elton, you'll know. We're providing you with a little bit of medicine to go along with the feed. It will take time to bond with Elton, but he's trained to listen to commands, so you should start with commands. Making sense?
Very well.
Awesome. You notice with that animal handling check, Elton kind of gives you a little pecks as he's eating. Make a nature check. You all can if you'd like.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Sure.
10.
Great. What did you say? Nature?
Nature, yeah.
22.
Wow.
14.
Not a check we make often. Okay. You all, to varying degrees, notice...
I got a 4. I noticed nothing.
Yeah, varying degrees. You notice that Elton is like an actual bird. It's not by any means like an automaton or like some sort of construct. However, you notice that the eye seems unnatural, and that the tips of the wings seem to be kind of not feather, but more like artificial, like not like natural feather, like artificial feather. And Claire will begin to describe. We have fitted Elton. He's one of our long-distance travelers. His augmented feathers, and his eyesight makes him extremely good at traveling long distances in cold climates at high altitudes. He can usually cover about 55 miles a day, non-stop, and can travel at altitudes higher than the Cinder Peak Mountains. It's not recommended to force this sort of labor on him. However, with enough training as he's had, he can handle a decent amount of stress. Do you have any questions?
No, I think you've explained the basics quite well.
I got a question. When we send him out there, how does he find his way back?
That is a great question. So, we train Elton to track scent, but over long distances that can be rather difficult. What you can do is, we've affixed to his eye an arcane tether that when linked to this, and she'll hand you a ring, he'll be able to track you down, no problem.
How about to get other places? Like if we say, like, does it have to be somewhere it knows, or does
Yes,
it know?
it doesn't know. If it doesn't know and you haven't trained it, part of your formal vocabulary will be to train him on where you are if you want him to return there. But keep in mind, he only has a limited number of places he can remember. So pick wisely. He's trained for Tura, and he'll come right to this hatchery. But you can always change that if you'd like. Elton is yours. We'll give you a handbook explaining further information in case you have other questions.
All right then. Does anyone have other business at the archive?
No, I think I'm all set.
Nothing else for me either. Iris? No, I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, here's your cage. Here's the cloth for covering it, the food, and medicine. And she gives it in a little pack you can kind of fold away. Good luck on your travels. We wish you well, and keep Elton safe.
Will do.
Therathar, you can add now in your inventory, by the way, Ring of Memories should be there. When equipping it, attuning to it, you should gain the feat Keen Mind. Which should already do the +1 and all the other stuff. But when you do attune, just confirm that.
Okay.
All right.
I also found in my inventory, and I don't remember when Therathori got this exactly, a Ring of Protection.
Yes, that was a +1 to your AC. That was given to you by the king last session.
Okay. And I also now have some other kind of arcane ring for...
That does not require
Elton.
attunement, the one with Elton, no.
Okay.
If only Therathari had more than one finger.
Well, if it's like Skyrim, you can only wear one.
You can attune to up to 3 items. It doesn't matter what they are. I think in D&D there's 2 slots for rings, if I'm not mistaken. I forget.
I think, I don't know about specific ring slots, but I do know you can attune to just 3 items in general.
Right, but you obviously can't attune to 2 helmets.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I don't
you
see why
could-
you couldn't attune to 3 rings.
You technically can attune to 2 helmets. You just couldn't really wear 2 helmets at
True.
once.
I guess that's fair. That'd be useless for when I
Right.
swap.
Swap mid battle.
Okay.
So I'm just attuning them to see if they show up in that attunement section, and yeah, sure enough, they do.
Okay. You aren't
Very
attuned
nice.
to at least this ring yet, so make sure you don't click that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I
They
turned
take
it
like
on.
an hour to do, right?
It's usually a short rest. I usually roll that way. At least a short rest.
Yeah, it's usually a short rest.
Okay. You guys are free to go about your day. It's now approaching dinner time. Tenley, you might be getting the urge to go back home, but that's up to you.
I'll probably head back as soon as I see everyone off. Just
Fair enough.
make sure that when you do first send Elton back, that you have some sort of instruction on how to send him back to you.
Yes, of course. I'll
Either
work on
way-
training him in our initial travels.
Certainly. And whenever he does come back here, I'll try and make sure that the archive informs me. I'll send word of anything and everything that we learn that might be of interest as soon as we get Elton back, and we'll be able to send him as best we can.
Wonderful.
All right. Where are you guys going now? So you were I guess you were told that you were getting horses at the western entrance to the city. I believe you were given the name
Mildred.
Mildred. Yep, correct. Mildred at the western gates.
No game on point.
Hey,
You can go there, or you can close out the festivities of the Day of Roses, whatever you guys want to do. Keep in mind, well, I guess I should first ask you with the map now in your possession, which direction would you like to go?
I mean, if we have someone waiting for us in Ainswood,
you'd probably head out west if there's someone
Yeah.
waiting for you.
Answood almost feels like too easy, but like I have no in-character reason to believe that. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Ultimately,
agree.
if you have a point of contact there, I feel like it would be rude to leave them waiting.
Yeah.
You also have, I believe you were told the exact journey, and I did some rough calculations. So about 250 miles. You can realistically push a horse to about 25 miles a day for 8 hours if you travel 8 hours.
Oh my.
We're looking at about like a 10-day
About
trip.
10 days of travel to the.
I
Blackwater.
misread the map.
Wow.
I thought Answood was going to be like a day trip.
no, he's saying all the way.
that's to the quarry.
All the way to the.
I know,
Fine.
but even by that math, Answood is like a third of the
Oh,
way.
little
That's
bit.
like
Yeah, a
3
couple
days.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 days.
Answood is quite a way. Quite a ways. I mean, you're
Yep.
going through a good
No, yeah,
fourth of the continent to get.
You're
down
right.
there.
You're right.
So, I don't have a scale marker, but I do on my actual map. But anyway, so yeah, it's about a 10-day journey if you were to, to stop after 8 hours. You could obviously push through, but at the
Let's
detriment of your horse.
But, well, do we want to start like head out in the morning, or I mean, it's getting in the evening.
what time is it?
At dinner
About
time.
dinner.
I'm saying.
Thari, what time is it?
Oh yeah,
Well, he's not
Uh,
attuned. He's not attuned.
he's not attuned
Oh,
yet.
okay.
His keen mind tells you the exact time, Therathari.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You
Yeah.
look up keen mind. It's really good.
It's an
It's really
amazing
nice.
feat. Yeah, it's really good.
It's perfect for you. All right. Anyway, what do you want to do?
I'm not opposed to heading out tonight. I feel like it's still. You said it's approaching. Is it approaching dinner time? Maybe not
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Sunset's around 6:30, 7 o'clock, around this time of year.
Well, I mean, we could get about an hour or two of traveling today if we left, or just head out first thing in the morning.
I suppose
I've-
it depends on how fast you want to get there.
I have no strict preference.
How about we take tonight to get to know each other? Let's, it is still a holiday. Let's go out to a tavern or something, have a good night, and leave in the morning.
That sounds like as good idea as any.
Okay, let
Well, I'm new here, so I'll trust you on tavern preferences.
Actually, considering that we've completed our first large, fantastical job, I know a few nicer sort of restaurants, steakhouses here in the Holy District that might be worth some outdoor seating, especially considering the holiday.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Whatever classy establishment you're into, I'm sure will be above my standards.
We'll find an outdoor place. I'll pay for everything today.
Thanks, Stanley.
It's the least I can do. I'm going to be running a business tomorrow.
Last day of freedom.
Right.
All right. There is one such restaurant, Tenley. It is located right on the outskirts of the Skyport Spire. It is called The Odd Job, and it's a fancy steakhouse. It's usually like a suit and tie kind of joint, you know?
We'll need to dress up a little bit, but it's... I can get us in.
All right,
Okay.
We're heading there.
Works for me.
Okay, so you head over to the Odd Job, and you are immediately hit with not only the smell of like bacon and steak and sort of like coals and fire, but also with the sight of a massive line.
Oh, of course. It's the Day of Roses.
Give
Why,
me a
why did I
moment.
expect there to not be a line?
Tenley will walk all the way out to the front.
All right, you can see there are people with clipboards walking down the aisles, or not the aisle, yeah, the aisles of this queue. It's like a proper queue, zigzag and all. Like it's a serious thing. There's like an usher in the front with like that rope that you see at nightclubs, opening and closing it. There's a lady next to him with the clipboard. Name, reservation,
Hi.
and she looks
Hello.
at you.
Hi.
One moment.
Tenley Hightower. Mhm.
She's
Oh,
writing.
wait.
She brings the clipboard to her chest. Yes, what?
Hello. Tenley Hightower, newly appointed member of the royal family. Is Melanie working tonight?
She's off, sick, but we have room. The table just opened up. Marcus, if you will.
It'll be myself and 4 other guests.
The big bouncer opens the rope.
Or I guess.
Hello?
Oh, right. Never mind. Sorry. Can't do math.
Suddenly turns and ushers you forward. Follow me. Forgive me, Miss Hightower.
Right. It was a bit of an impromptu decision for dinner tonight.
You look lovely, all of you. And she'll
Thank you. You as well.
turn, clipboard close to the chest, grab a couple of menus, or 5 menus, walk. Would you prefer outdoor seating?
Yes, please.
Of course. She'll lead you out to the back patio. Walking through this restaurant, it is packed. There's people at the bar waiting. There's people at round tables who are getting served food. You can see a waiter brings out a tomahawk steak. He's got the waiters are dressed in like all white, very formal, uppity, kind of like standard like French style cuisine, but steakhouse ish. It's like Wolfgang's if you've ever been there, bougie ass place. You can see on the back of the bar they have this beautiful display of wines, like in glass behind them, kind of glowing from the bottom. All sorts of alcoholic beverages are being served. You're ushered through there to the back of, or the side rather, of the Odd Job, into the patio, which are these sets of glass pane doors that have kind of shifted and collapsed into the wall. And you can see people are sitting in booths, or not booths, but tables out on this roped-in patio. It's got red velvet rope that surround it, gold posts in between. And it's not covered. However, there's an awning that can be pulled out should it be needed. And there is a central table next to a fireplace that's kind of burning, and it is vacant and reserved for the elite. And you are placed at this table, all of you. If you will, please sit. We'll bring out wine, complimentary wine, and some water. Anything else would you like?
Do we have more of the Ostanzen reserve in stock?
Fresh shipment, yes.
Lovely. We'll have a bottle of that, please.
Of course. And here's the drink menu. And our specials are on this side, and she'll hand you all the menu. And on this side are our mainstays. If you need anything, my name is Liliana. I'll be at the front. Say my name, and whatever you want is yours. Enjoy your
Thank you,
night.
Liliana.
Sorry again, and she'll bow and leave.
Of course, no problem. Welcome to the Odd Job, everyone.
Well,
Super
this
breezy.
this is nice. Thanks, Henley.
It's certain. It's every couple of months we head out here. Usually a celebration of the quarterly news and so on and so forth.
You look at the menu, and the mac and cheese side is $25. 25 gold.
25 gold. Oh my god.
Right, those lobsters are imported, and there's foreign cheeses in that one.
Tenley, you can afford this, right? You're not bankrupting the company on your
No.
first day.
I have my own personal funds from working with the rewards.
Okay, all right. Say no more.
Shortly, waiters bring out glasses of wine, or glasses for wine. They pop the wine, the cork, and pour you all wine. And they leave the bottle, and you two talk.
Well, I did not expect to go through so much over the course of maybe a week-ish, but we've made the city a safer place, I suppose.
Yes, to us and to our new companions.
Your new
I
journey.
don't drink often, but I will to this.
Constitution saving throw. No, I'm kidding.
You've gone from wandering in to ask about books to a newly expositor of the archive in the span of maybe a week.
Yes, well, I just go where the wind takes me.
Did you expect to be put in this new position so soon?
I honestly don't know what they see in me.
They're
I could tell you on one hand how often I've read in the past 2 months.
Well, I think it's less about your love for reading or lack thereof, and more about your curious spirit and thirst for knowledge.
I imagine that's what the archive is looking for, is to have someone to go out into the fields and really explore on their stead.
Yes, well, I've done no short of that in the past 2 months.
Ah, yes, well. And Tunley will look over the jar. So, where did you say you were from originally?
I'm originally from a little town up in northeastern Ostanza over there. Just a little farming town.
You've traveled a long way then.
Yeah, I've been traveling around for a long while, just following news. I've seen most. Well, I guess I've seen a lot of Ostanza. Then heard some curiosities, and I made my way over here.
Are there particular responsibilities you aspire to, or are you simply just a traveling arcanist?
I'm actually really hunting down some information for my own personal reasons. Looking to learn and settle something personally.
I see.
Oh,
Anything in particular you can share with us? I recognize you've known us for maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Just more or less about current events and what's been occurring, and how it relates to the past and the future.
right. Thanks for clearing that up.
Of course.
I mean, that's what led me here towards hearing about the Shikmu incident and with the mine. Just trying to see if I can connect the dots and anything that's going on there.
Well, if there's anything in particular you wish for myself or others to look up while you're away, just have the pigeon send it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely
That pigeon
interested.
has a name.
I'm definitely interested to hear about the outcome of the mine and what's causing that illness.
And I'll have to check in with Yana to see what's going on there. Worst case scenario, we'll just fund some mercenaries.
Mainly, though, I'm really out here to. I guess correct my own source of what I view as an injustice. You ever, walking around town and you notice that some things just don't seem right. I'm trying to set those things right.
I see. Well, you'll be a perfect fit for them here then.
It's a noble cause, Jara.
I like to think I'm doing some good here and there.
I'll sort of flag down a waiter real quick and ask for the appetizer sampler for everyone.
Yep, it comes out, or it will come out. They nod.
Well, what about you all? I mean, you had this whole day dedicated to y'all. I don't know. I knew a little bit about what happened. I don't know if there's anything you guys can elaborate on. I know some of it was kind of hush hush.
Yeah, no, you're part of our group now, so I have no problem filling you in.
Just need to be wary, considering that there are still ears everywhere.
Of course. So what I can say here is basically that Therathari and I were new to the city about a week ago. We wandered in and crossed paths with Tenley. And just as we were doing so, there was some scandal going on down at the docks. And basically, we were enlisted to figure out why goods were being stolen and how that was connected to several other events and conspiracies and groups within the city. We pieced all of that information together, and it led to what you witnessed today.
Well, with the execution there, that was a little disturbing.
It was not what I expected.
Yeah, same. But I mean, those are bad people. Not that justifies it, but
well,
I think your accent's
I
wearing off of
suppose
me.
when you're a major accomplice in a coup of that magnitude. Not that I would have done it here at the festival today, but that likely should have been a separate occurrence. And publicized ahead of time.
Yeah. It's definitely questionable.
But perhaps the king was a little unsettled that from within his own keep came some of the mutiny.
Right, the fire was coming from inside the house, to put it
Literally.
I'd also be interested in hearing any local updates here. I mean, hopefully, the king doesn't become unhinged and start doing some crazy things because of what happened.
Certainly keep you apprised of the political climate here in Torah. Lord knows I've been following it for the whole of my life.
Sure, you keep up with news around the continent, not just Torah?
I try.
What have you heard of going on in Karth recently? Anything?
Jay, I don't think I have anything from Karth, right?
No, you wouldn't know if you don't have it.
If you don't know, that's fine. I was just wondering if you'd heard anything.
I mean, maybe the storm hit it a little bit, but not really.
Well, I haven't made my way down Karth yet. I spent most of my time, obviously, in Ostanza, and then I made my way over here. I mean, I did spend some time around the Ivory Coast, which I guess borders part of Karth, but nothing there in particular.
All right. Well, if you hear anything, that's where I'm from, so I'd love to know what's going on back home.
I did meet a fella who gave me a real interesting tattoo. Maybe I'll show you that later. I don't know if you might know a little bit about it. He came from Karth. Or at least he said he did.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it sounds like the type of guy to just kind of give you a tattoo. Is it? What was it a tattoo of?
I kind of make it whatever I want, and I roll up my right arm, and on my forearm, you see it's a picture of a scale that's just like hanging balanced. And then you look at it again, and the scale like tips back and forth.
Is it like moving in front of my eyes, or is it just like?
It's like the ink is flowing under the skin, moving it.
That's sick. That's some incredible work. Whoever did this is a very talented person.
Yeah, he said he learned it overseas. One of his travels down to Caldrone down there. They're doing some trading, and he said he met a fellow that taught him how to do this.
What does it mean to you,
Oh.
anyway?
Well, the scale, like I said, I can make whatever I want, but it's scale right now. It's just how I view my actions in the world. I try not to tip the scale in any unfavorable direction too much, or at least if I do, I try to balance it out. It's kind of like a mental scorecard, I guess you could say.
Good.
Is what you meant
And
by
which way is it tipping now?
Oh, right now it's pretty level. Happy about that.
is what you meant by like solving injustices? Like when you do that, the scale gets more balanced.
Yeah. Sometimes if I see an injustice, the scale might tip, and then I try to fix it, and then just as like a reminder myself, my morals and ideals, and then it'll fix itself when I feel like I've done enough.
Nice. Good to
Who
have
wants
that
to have a
visual
little
feedback.
fun then?
Very curious.
I'll
Elaborate.
take
What
a
are you suggesting?
a breadstick or something like from the table. I'm sure there's something like that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, they got breadsticks.
Sure.
And I'll just I'll weigh it up in my hand as if to just kind of contemplate its mass, and without much warning, I'll toss it at Felix.
What are you doing?
Make an attack.
Can
And,
I?
and
Range attack. The D20 plus
as I do this, I'd like to keep an eye on the scale. I rolled an
Please do not
18.
throw food in the
Does that
elite
hit you?
section.
18. Felix?
It's gonna burst. What do I have any save or something, or do I take the
It's
breadstick?
range attack. Is it 18 hit you?
Oh, well, I'm assuming I don't have my shield on me, so yeah.
Okay.
Get hit by a
You
breadstick.
get clocked in the head with a breadstick.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Is this an action or is it a reaction?
I'm gonna hold back my.
Oh, it's a bonus action. Bonus action. It wouldn't be faster, would it?
No.
Damn it.
All right. How do you react, Felix? Getting clocked with a breadstick.
I'm seething right now, but I know that we're in like a nice establishment, and I don't want to ruin Tenley's good name.
I mage hand the breadstick off the ground.
And what happened to the scales during this time?
And then
I
I
was trying to observe.
Dan?
no, nothing. Scales didn't really change.
You do
Not a big
notice-
enough injustice.
I don't know if I call that an injustice. Just kind
kind
of.
of a
Not as
dick move.
impulsive as I can imagine.
You do notice out of the corner of your eye, Theratari, there's about 2 tables over, directly diagonal to you on your left side, a 5-year-old who watched that. He takes a piece of his
Oh
breadstick
god.
and throws it at someone at his table.
Oh god.
All roll.
Ah, yes, very good. In the pursuit of knowledge, he knows.
And it clocks his mother in the side of the head, and she turns and he laughs, and she starts yelling at him. You've inspired the next generation.
Anyway, we should probably order our entrees.
I don't know if a food fight really counts as an injustice, but at least not.
Well, now we know for sure that it doesn't.
If it's big enough.
I mean, it's not like an all-seeing scale. I control it, so it's kind of filtered through my lens.
So is it like a voluntary thing, or
Yeah, I could do what I want with it. And then you see it turns into like an anchor, and then it turns into like different shapes, and then it goes back to the scale.
so Theratari, I don't know what that was about then.
Yeah, it's not like some all being,
In the pursuit of knowledge, I suppose.
Yes, of a greater morality.
Is that archive worthy?
It's just my own personal tool for keeping track.
Yes, fair enough. And I take out the magical notebook and pretend to scribble in it.
I take out my notebook and start scribbling back.
Oh, 2 nerds in a group, man.
Felix isn't one of the nerds. That's crazy.
Funnily enough.
You look over at Jara's notebook, and there's little like anime drawings he's got on there.
And he looks over at Theratharis and sees nothing.
Yep, absolutely nothing. All right, you guys order your entrees, another round of drinks. You guys can switch any type of alcohol If you are drinking, I'll say the next round you'll probably have to roll to see if you're buzzed. It's up
I'd
you
like to
guys.
try the Shikumen imports to get a taste of
She
what I
will
can
inform
expect.
you that there has been a recent embargo and Shikumo imports are no more.
Sparkling sake's gone.
Every import from Shikumo as of early yesterday morning is no more.
Yes.
And do you know what this embargo is about? Why have they cut off our supply?
I don't know, but this is one of the waiters. It's affecting our business. We sell a lot of those bottles. We have none
I'm
left.
sure.
Sold our last yesterday evening.
Oh,
Well,
such a
I'm going to
shame.
dig it. I'll be digging into that one at home while you're gone.
Yeah, let me know what you hear about that too.
I can offer you some fresh imports from Alezio, if you'd like, or Savia.
Alessio and Savia do make good wine.
Yeah, I'll have the Sabi and stuff.
Of course. Would you like a white or a red?
Do you have any rosé?
I believe we do, yes.
I'll take that then.
All right, I'll just bring a bottle of each, and I'll leave. All right, if you are going to drink it, I'll ask all of you to make con saves. Whoever's
Hell yeah.
drinking this, to see if you're buzzed.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me,
yeah.
I'll go for it.
Oh, nice. 24.
Oh,
Nailed
Jesus.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
nailed
actually,
mine as
that's
well.
not too
Hold
bad.
on. Oh, 24.
15.
15 for, what was yours, Paul?
15.
Oh.
Also,
yeah.
for the purpose of remaining cognizant and incognito with the rest of the group, Iris has been drinking, but alcohol does not affect her.
Yeah, she's still
Like at
she's
all.
good. So
Now, Iris, where does all this beverage go that you drink? It's like sloshing around in there, or do you have some kind of compartment?
I have never thought about that as much. I'm not sure.
Can we use you as like a thermos?
Theoretically.
fucker.
I'm also equipped with cargo storage if
Get
we
that reference.
require additional.
Of course I do.
I think I know who the wine has hit the hardest.
Who?
Well, you've got quite the idea, the scheme.
I'm just saying, if she can hold liquid and it just stays inside her perfectly untouched, it might come in handy.
Or maybe it goes to the void and back.
That's why I asked. I don't know.
I'm equipped with storage to hold nearly anything and leave it untouched.
Do you have a spout somewhere? Can we get this liquid back out?
I do not believe free liquid would work, but bottles can be stored.
Well,
Jara, I believe I actually have what you're asking about, and I'll pull out my bottle of holding and start
Nice.
dumping one of the wine bottles into the bottle of holding.
That's
Oh.
certainly one way to.
Make sure you're right what you filled it with, Tony.
Yeah, it's wine. It's
Well, for the pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
The waiter
you know,
comes
we
back.
we could
Sorry, go ahead.
I have a concept for a restaurant now. If the storage is unlimited in such a way.
Fast food.
Of my bottle you're talking about?
Between that and Iris's storage,
Yes.
let's think about it. Unlimited breadsticks.
Well, I don't think the bottle can hold breadsticks.
Yeah.
Jara's scales are so off kilter.
Endless
Oh, yeah.
breadsticks, huh?
Endless breadsticks. Now that's an injustice.
You know, they always advertise it as unlimited breadsticks, and I always thought it was such a ripoff because, like, you know, nobody could really eat that much. But
Yeah.
Well,
I
maybe
think you're onto something there, Thari.
maybe Iris is in the back there with all the breadsticks.
Yes.
Iris, how many breadsticks can you hold? I believe I can hold
Yeah,
up
I forgot
to
about
400 additional pounds of breadsticks.
It's a lot of breadsticks.
Well, 400 pounds of breadsticks doesn't have as much.
441 and a half pounds of breadsticks.
We won't need any rations on our trip.
441 pounds of breadsticks
You have to
doesn't
get
sound.
the bread. She can't make the bread. You gotta get them and put
Well,
them.
Where are we
I-
even going to get these
She's not an
breadsticks?
easy bake oven.
They're coming in. They're giving us breadsticks with our dinner. As we keep eating them, they keep refilling. I mean,
That's true. Speaking of which, the waiter comes by. Oh, you enjoyed the rosé. I'll get another bottle.
thank you.
That was quick. All right. If you have another glass, you need to re-roll. The DC's getting higher. Up to you guys.
Stanley's not going
Or
to go
I'm
too
just-
crazy.
Put it all in my bottle.
17.
I'm also not feeling tipsy yet, so I'll go one more. Oh, another 24. I'm killing it.
24 is good. 17 ties it, so you are not tipsy either. You guys are hammering down these glasses of wine. Maybe if it was scotch or something harder.
Well,
Feel it.
Jarvis a traveler. He ain't no joke.
True. All right, you're on the dessert course here. Give you a nice port wine. Nice dessert.
I would like an amaretto as my aperitif.
Of course, right away.
I'm partial to
Um,
amaretto for
And
port.
and could you also bring more breadsticks?
With the dessert course.
With the
Normally,
dessert
we
course.
cut you off after 66 breadsticks, but because you're our special guests, I'll bring another package.
Wait,
Trust me, they're important.
Have we been
As
stuffing
soon-
breadsticks
as soon
with
as-
Iris?
As soon as the waiter leaves, Stanley's go, Iris, have been giving you breadsticks. I thought that was the plan.
Iris is like, she's Amelia
Within
Bedelia. She
Iris'
doesn't understand.
inventory, she has 66 breadsticks.
Let me go ahead and add 66 breadsticks to the bag of holding. Well, at least you won't want for road rations, though I suppose at some point you'll get sick of breadsticks.
How does a bag of holding like preserve food? Is it? I assume it's like vacuum.
It's like a vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah, so
good,
we're
man.
good.
You just need to add water to rehydrate it. That'll be good.
Oh my god.
Hold on, wait. Well, actually, how many breadsticks constitutes a volume of 64 cubic feet?
That's a lot of breadsticks.
I mean, 64,
64 cubic feet
a
is
lot,
huge.
though. That's an 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot room.
That's a big ass room of breadsticks. You only got
That-
66 bitches in
The,
there.
the content,
That's
Well,
the,
you
like
might
my-
max
the
out
bag
on
of
weight.
holding is not able to exceed a volume of 66 cubic feet.
You
That's
might
like
max out
my
on weight more
entire
than that.
office. That's my entire office. 66 breadsticks would just be like in a corner, like on the floor. It wouldn't
Yeah,
even.
you'll max out weight usually before volume.
Okay. So
Although with
we're
breadsticks, you would.
we are
max out
safe to
volume first.
technically have the current 66 breadsticks in my inventory.
Really,
Don't even,
yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
even have to count that, okay? It's just, it's like so inconsequential.
Listen, we're going to take out a breadstick to feed a starving prisoner, and that's going to help turn the
Right.
tide of this
Look,
campaign.
we can do this math, okay? Each breadstick's probably like 12 inches long and like 4 inches thick, okay?
That's a big breadstick.
Yeah,
It's a big old
probably-
breadstick.
It's like 6 inch breadstick.
Bread thick? Goddamn.
6-inch breadstick, we'll say like 2 inches thick. Okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe 2 inches would be better. Maybe 1.5 inches.
All right, before we start going down
No,
the
we're not-
rabbit
we're
hole
not
of
actually doing
calculating how many goddamn breadsticks I can fit in a bag of holding.
You get another round of 8. So if you want to put 8 in there, you got 8 more.
Stop collecting the breadsticks.
Well, you heard the waitress after this batch were cut off, so might as well just take this batch.
With that, you're served your evening dessert. You've been there for about 2 hours. You guys can continue to talk. If you are having port wine, that's another DC, another roll.
I'm not
Yep.
tipsy, so I'm doing
Here
it.
it comes.
Yo,
20.
nat
Not-
20. I'm nailing this.
Yeah, you guys are fucking legends. The
God
DC was,
damn.
what'd you get there, Thori?
I got a 20.
Yeah, the DC was
Unnatural,
20.
but-
You guys are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
25 with a nat
Nailed it.
20. So
Alright.
I'll fucking hammering this shit back. And
At
it's not,
least make sure to drink some water.
you know, that's
God,
the
no, I'll
trick.
just eat the breadsticks.
Jar
Yeah,
goes
I hear that's good for absorbing the
one
alcohol.
drink, one water. He goes back and forth.
Well, if you guys want to continue on your evening, you can, or
Well,
I
in
can
any
give
case.
Tenley the check. What do you guys want to do? It's up to you guys.
Well, I'm done here. We can continue the evening, but maybe elsewhere. I think we're getting a little out of control. The staff would prefer if we leave.
I should.
As long as I get to bring the 2 breadsticks left with me.
Oh,
Sure. All right, take
oh,
them.
you can have the breadsticks.
Okay.
I'll also as well retire for the evening, but I will see you off at the western gates in the morning.
Should we set a time for that? How are you feeling? I haven't had too much to drink, but
I
you two
only
specifically.
had a bit for the entree.
Yeah,
So I'm
I
feeling
feel
good.
I feel fine.
All right, so we can be up nice and early tomorrow.
Yeah,
Press lag, I
works for
suppose.
me.
Jaro, where are you staying?
I don't know. Do you remember what my inn was called?
Uh,
I don't actually think I wrote it down.
You are staying at.
Yeah.
I believe it was the Timid Lady Tavern. No, the Cushion Pillow over in the Westway Docks. Cushion Pillow.
Okay. I'm staying over in the Cushion Pillow over by the docks.
If you'd like a closer walk in the morning, you're welcome to sleep with us. We have an extra room.
I guess yeah, if it's closer. Sure.
All right.
I'll go back to my room, collect whatever my things in there, and then I'll settle up. And where are you guys at?
We're at the Glass Pane. If you talk to the receptionist and just tell her you're with us, I'm sure she'll let you in.
All right, and then I could close out and grab my things, and then I can meet you at your inn.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Tenley, you can subtract 100 plus another D100 roll. Gold.
All right.
Here we go, double zeros.
76.
176 from your.
That sounds about right.
The extra 6 gold were for going over the quota of free breadsticks.
No.
The breadstick tax.
That's right.
All right. You all check out. Tenley, do you want to say goodbye for the evening, or you just want to wait till tomorrow?
Yeah. Just all.
She'll just do like a quick little farewell to everyone and see you at the western gate.
Okay. You all retire to your prospective inns. Jara arrives at the Glass Pane Inn, which is a beautiful.
Did I already pay for? I think I paid last time for my rooms, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay.
You are greeted by a water genasi named Amelia. Beautiful blue skin, flowing hair. She greets you and says, "Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Glass Pane Inn. How may I help you this evening?"
Hi, I'm here to see Felix and Therathari. I believe they're expecting me. I'm Jara. If they gave you my.
We would have told her that we were
Yeah,
expecting. Yeah.
Of course. Do you need me to bring you up, or do you know the way?
That would be fantastic if you could show me.
Of course. Follow me. And she'll bring you over to a levitation pad, also known as an elevator. And she'll take you to the top floor into the suite, one of 2 suites, but the larger suite, the master suite. And she'll take you to the door. This is the suite. Enjoy your stay. And she'll.
Thank you.
Okay. You knock. Anyway.
Hello, it's Jara.
Nope. I'll get the door.
All right. The door swings open, and inside you see a beautiful. It's basically marble floor, very gaudy sort of decorations. It's kind of like Roman-esque, like Roman architecture. And there's also the room of requirement.
Welcome.
Iris has been in the process of testing the room for requirement ever since she got here.
What's the room of requirement?
So let me show you to where you'll be staying.
Yeah, it's quite a nice place up in here.
So I'll take him to the room of requirement. Whatever you need, Tigo, this toucan, can provide. So, Tigo, can we have a bed set up for our guests, please?
When you say whatever I need, you mean just like material items?
Yes. But that includes food and beverage, whatever you want. But as soon as you leave the room, the effects of said food and beverage will wear off. So
anything you conjure in the room stays within the vicinity.
Right.
So
I
if
know
were
what
to
you were
drink-
thinking.
Oh, go ahead.
And no, you cannot bring the breadsticks out of the room.
And if you drink and get drunk, as soon as you leave the room, you are no longer drunk because the alcohol is gone.
Right.
Can I like conjure up a book or something, or is it just like food, beverage, and furniture?
I haven't considered, but I mean, I would assume you have to know what is on the pages. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think you could just say, "I want this super rare book that I don't know what's in it," and then have it materialize in
I
front
have
of you.
tried to replicate the book from 2,000 years ago, and it failed.
Well, you and I had the same thought there, Iris.
I like how you can spawn anything you want. Can I spawn a book? Okay.
I mean, hey, it's a logical question. I'm testing the limits. You said anything. That's what I was saying. Anything?
Such a nerd answer.
Whatever you can like conjure in your mind fully, I believe, is the limit.
Well, that's a mighty fancy perk to this room. Oh,
All right. Do you all want to do anything before bed?
I'm chilling.
Finalize some notes.
Jared, I'm gonna take out my other notebook.
Mhm.
Where is it? Do I have it in here? Oh yeah, my book of sending. I'm gonna start putting some notes down in there from the day.
All right, just
Yeah.
okay.
Gearing it up for Friday.
Got it. Therathari, do you choose to do anything, or you make your way to your bed after you do your successful attunement?
Yeah, oh, I guess okay, if I can attune, I'll do that.
You want to do anything with Elton? Or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him some of the feed that
Okay.
I was given, which maybe you could send me a note as to what all of those items were. I didn't write them all down.
Okay.
Just his like care supplies, you know.
Yeah, I'll write it down and I'll send it to you in Discord.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
And I think I'll put his cage near the window.
Okay.
Sick. Yeah.
All right. If that's it, I do want to get to the part where you depart Tura, so the next 10 minutes, and then we'll end session. I know we're a little over 9. Okay. So with that, you all take a full rest if you needed it. Those who needed to tune, you are attuned.
And then how do I should the feat show up automatically? Oh no, I have to hit manage feats. And what is it?
It's
Keen mind?
Keen Mind, yes.
Yeah, nice.
So that should, just to verify, give you a +1 to intelligence. You have
Mhm.
memory and all that. Okay. Excellent. So, you awake, all of you, I believe. Did you set a time? Let's just say you did. What was the time?
Would have been
we-
like early morning, so like 6:30, 7 o'clock probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all wake at 6 a.m. to prepare for your
also
travels,
do that.
packing up all the stuff in your inn,
Me
in your
too.
room, saying your goodbyes to it. A nice place to stay for the better part of the week that you've been here. Very comfortable. But you pick up. The day is yours. 6 a.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
No, not a Friday. Excuse me. On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, let's find our horses.
Who was it? Mildred that we had to talk to?
Mildred over at the Western Gate.
Okay.
Walk over a guy like that.
Yep. Tom or Therathari
That's
recalls
the-
exactly who it is. Mildred.
Mm.
All right. You wake, eat your breakfast, head out the door, and walk towards the western gates. I keep flipping back and forth, but I'll just go back one last time.
For the purposes of send-offs, Henley would have asked Jay Sean if he wanted to be at the Western Gate for this.
Jay Sean would have declined for the fact that he is currently immobile due to his injuries right now.
Understandable.
Still healing.
We said our goodbyes to Jay
Yeah.
Sean. I feel good
He
about
does
that.
wish the best, of course, but
Mm.
in person, no. All right, so you'll all arrive in the outskirts of the Vesselad Commons.
I forgot.
All meet up on the main path
Hello.
out towards the western gate here of Turia, or of Tura. A little bit of a bittersweet moment. This is the first time you guys have left the city in the better part of a week and a half. Coming in, kind of leaving, definitely completely different than how you came in. Different goals, different people. Hopefully for the better, maybe for the worse in some cases. Nevertheless, you converge on this path, and you can pick up.
Tenley is there, right? To see
Yeah.
us off? Okay.
Yes.
Well, Tenley, it has been an interesting week, and I did not expect to be in the company of someone like yourself for this time,
Well,
which is a compliment.
It has certainly been an interesting journey.
I wish you and your family all the best, and I hope the city sees more prosperous days.
Thank you. Jayshawn sends his regards. He'd be here in person, however.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, it was certainly nice meeting you, and looking
You as
forward
well.
to hearing about what you figure out. And I hope everything goes well for you.
Certainly. As well as Elton, I believe there are some other contacts I may be able to pull some strings about, so maybe I'll see if I can get some messages delivered by other people. We'll see what happens. I have to figure out what all of this new influence means.
Yeah, well, you at least know where we're heading.
Of course, and I extended the courtesy to Felix and Therathari, but for the whole party as well. If and when you find yourselves back in Tura, you're more than welcome to enjoy the patronage of the Hightower family.
Appreciate
you.
that.
Yep. On that note, unless there's anything else, grab your horses and find your way off south.
All right. Farewell, Tenley, and I'll stick my hand out.
Handshakes all around.
Okay. You turn your backs on your newfound friend, wishing her the best. Tenley, you wait until they disappear out of the gate before you turn back. Flurry of emotions, but immediately you are hit with the responsibility of now managing your family's business as well as whatever royalty means in the city.
Oh. Alright, that should be fun.
And you make your way back into the Holy District. The rest of you meet up with Mildred, a stout-looking halfling, managing your horses. You each get a horse. You're told instructions on how to feed it and take care of it. Recommended usage is 8 hours maximum per day, with an hour break. Not an hour break, but at least a good 30 to 40 minutes of like not fast movement, slow trot.
Yes, I have all of them now.
He confirms the pace is about 24 miles a day, about 3 miles an hour, through standard terrain. Your mileage may vary. And you are off. Before we end tonight's session, I would like, first of all, D20 off between all of you. So
Rollies!
Rollies, uh-oh. 18! Killing it.
14.
Strong roll.
5.
Nice.
3.
Okay. Jara.
And this is the order we're going for Mario Party.
Jara, you are doing the first ever roll on the encounter table for next session. Before that, whoever wants to roll for the weather, do that now. D8.
Tom bears the ring, so he's the weatherman. Or Therathari, rather. Not Tom.
2.
All right. And And then, Jara, roll me a D100.
All right. I got 93.
Okay. So the way this works, real quickly, I broke the journey into 5 legs, one every 2 days. I don't know yet if we're going to spend a ton of time, like every session. We'll see how it kind of goes. I don't want to bog down with travel. However, I want to make it more realistic. That's on paper what it is. If it takes too long, I'll cut it out. But every 2 days, you'll roll for the encounter table, and every day you'll roll for weather. And we'll go from
Sounds
there.
good.
Sounds good to
Okay.
me.
All right, so we have our rolls for next session. I'll message you, Tom, and I'll see you guys same time next week.
All right.
Good
Sounds
work,
good.
y'all.
Great work.
But for clarity, different time next week. I probably will have robotics, so we can't do 6.
Oh,
But
7, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
7 works. 6:30 honestly might work. Like I'll keep you posted, but it really just depends how long things go.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good. We'll be
All
in
right.
touch.
And,
regardless.
What's the name of the town again that we're traveling to right now?
Answood. A-N-S-W.
Answood, thank you.
Yeah, yep. All right, thank you guys.